Walk me through what we've learned in the last couple of minutes. Tribune saying that Sinclair engaged in belligerent talks with the United States and seeking $1 billion in damages. Barton, what are the grounds for that?
Well, I think the cancellation of, the FCC's referral of this transaction to a very kind of onerous administrative law proceeding, really makes it difficult to see this thing to conclusion. And so I think Tribune's basically throwing in the towel. They have that right, as of yesterday under the contract that they signed with Sinclair for the merger. And I think the fact that the FCC's taken a hard line with Sinclair is just really surprising. I mean, there's a lot of deals that are getting done. Disney and Fox. There's a company, Gray Television, which is pretty confident in a transaction they've lined up with Raycom in the TV sector. So deals are getting done, and somehow Sinclair ran into trouble, and I think everyone's surprised that this happened, and I think Tribune is not only surprised but pretty upset about it.
Barton, is there a political element to this story, and if there is, what is it?
Well, I think that, the political element has been, I think, partly in just the surprise. I think that Sinclair's been pretty pro-Trump and, at least it appeared to be that way. Most people felt that you could say they're pro-Trump, and I think that that made people think that the deal would fly through, and at least many investors, and it hasn't. And I think that tells you that it doesn't, necessarily pay to be a friend of Trump if you're trying to get through the FCC. You got to get through the FCC, and they had some trouble there.
So, Barton, on this stock right now, Sinclair's down by about 4% in early trading at around 26. I understand you've got to buy on the company at a $36 price target. Does any of this change your calculation on what this company's worth?
Yeah, look, I took down my price target a couple of weeks ago in the belief that this deal was not going to happen. So the deal's not happening. That's consistent with what I was thinking all along. This is a company that generates a ton of free cash flow. They have a lot of capacity to buy back their stock. I thought if they don't do this deal and the stock gets hit, that they could turn to share repurchase. And so now I think ball's in their court. We'll see if that plays out.
So that's my question to you, Barton, just to wrap things up. Do they go for capital returns or capital spending? What happens on the M&A side of things for Sinclair now?
Well, I think that their stock's of value, and I think it would make a lot of sense for them to take a look at repurchasing it. And I think that M&A for them is a little bit tough with this lawsuit, with some pushback from the FCC. So they might need to look a little bit inward. And I think against where we are here today, that should be helpful.